When did Trump write to you?
He wrote to me about 2 weeks ago, and he wrote to me again, and he wrote to me yesterday.
So what did he say?
I want you to put my. He said, "This is I'm the real deal," and he said, "I want you to put me in your contacts and contact me every now and then. Send me some notes every now and then." And
did he know that you won the Tesla?
It wasn't that. I think it was because of something else I said. Everybody swarmed my side here about a week or so ago. It was about 2 weeks ago. But what and following me?
What did you say?
Elon got on this. He did this picture with holding up a wedding band,
mm-hmm.
And he said, "I know you know who you are, and I want you to respond to this." I can't remember, something like that. And I thought, and I was walking around the thing. I thought, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but anyway, it's like, "I'm really interested in you, and you know who you are."
Mm-hmm.
And all the women on there just sending notes, like, "Oh, honey, I love you so much," and all this garbage. So I just ignored it. And so then, a day or two later, he put it back on, and I put this note, and I said, "Well, I know he's not aiming at me, but if he was, of course the answer would be yes. But you would have to wonder about somebody who builds rockets and can't subtract and doesn't have any subtraction skills." And I mean, everybody swarmed me, even celebrities like Prince Harry wrote me 2 notes, and it was him, I'm sure. And because
what did he say? What did Prince Harry say?
"I just love your personality. That was so funny." I mean, everybody just thought that was, funny. Mm-hmm. And then he put that back on yesterday again, only in another form. But between that, he was somewhere in some big city, like it looked like maybe New York, but not quite as upscale as New York.
Who, Trump or
no, Elon?
Elon Musk.
And he had a T-shirt on it that said, "I'm crazy about you. Let's get married," or something like that.
Huh.
And put a note back and said, "Are you sure? Okay." Everybody's just been forming that side picture. It's just been funny. But I don't know if that's what got Trump writing or not.
What did he told you something about? He had a real security problem, something top secret. That a bunch of people were out to kill him or something.
Oh yeah, he's had a lot of. He was begging him when he.
Did he tell you anything about that?
No, he just told me that. He said, "I've had a ton of threats," and he said, "Whatever you do, don't tell anybody. Don't mention my name to anybody," because he said that's a real security threat for you and my mother. Anybody that I've had any contact with, because he writes me all the time. And then when yesterday he brought that up again, he said, "Do not tell," because of the Tesla. I guess like we're going to hide the Tesla. No, I mean nobody. I'm sure anybody that knew anything about me knows I can't afford one of those damn cars.
Mm-hmm.
Went up in others now and tried to get one.
He told you to hide it?
No, he told me not to. No, told us. He said, "You tell Angela and you both do not mention my name to anybody," because he said that could be a real problem for me.
Mm.
And he was real worried about his mother. He kept saying, "We need security. We need Secret Service. We really need security," and they weren't doing it. And I don't know why. They surely have security over their own. I don't know. Because she's with him all the time. Every time he does a speech, she's there. She's a real pretty lady. I asked him if somebody had said, I read somewhere that she was a model, and boy, she could be, but he said no. He said she could. He said, "I'm sure she could be if she wanted to be," but he said she doesn't model.
He said his mom's not a model.
Mm-mm. he took a picture of himself with his shirt off yesterday. He looks like Schwarzenegger. He's just got muscles all the way down.
Huh.
And she is real. She's 74 or 76, and she was had a swimsuit on. She looked like a model.
Is that Animal Park where you see them at their house?
Well, they don't. He doesn't have a Johannesburg house anymore. That's why I wondered about that. I don't know where that would be
Because you see him with
with animals.
what kind of animal?
Well, he was walking out with that great big lion. They were just walking like he was walking with a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 2 weeks ago, he had this monster snake, and it was just all wrapped around him. He said, "What do you think about a snake for a pet?" I said, "Ooh, I don't think so."
I'll pass.
And then she walked out with those baby lions yesterday. I don't know where that is, but they're gentle where they are.
Hmm.
I guess they have houses other places, but you would think Johannesburg.
Hmm.
But that's a big city, so I don't think they had them there. But anyway, they're interesting people. They're interesting to listen to. You know, she doesn't say much, but he does. But he just walked out with that day. He didn't make any comments about it. But I wondered then. I thought they got it up somewhere because and it wasn't AI. It was just that line was just gentle.
So in that Tesla, you said it was like $1,000, and then you said it was like $1,500.
What about it?
Well, I don't know the money. Why does he want money for it if you want it?
It's for the first time they've gone up on it, but the first time it may be the difference in the cars.
Oh, that's what you said. You said it was cheaper the first time, and
It
then
was
he.
$200 the first time. I did $200, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to register that thing, and I'd have to buy insurance. And I said, give it to somebody who can afford it. I can't afford it. And then he really pinned me down the other day, and he said, I asked him, I said, wouldn't it be better if I just put, because you have to respond to those questions when he picks you out, and you have to just go in and type yes on them. And I said, what if I type no on these? Because I said,
So he just picked you to get a Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what his lawyer said. But there were two other women that got him too. And
Who's his lawyer?
He was on last night. First time I've seen him. He kept trying to get me to let him take over that case. I said, you're crazy. I said he would quit.
To take over your case in New
Yeah,
Mexico.
Because
Yeah.
he's a world famous lawyer.
Huh.
He said,
And you don't know his name?
I didn't even read it yesterday. I should have, I guess.
Huh.
I didn't think about. But he talked to me about that earlier, and I said, no, I'm going to do this myself. It's win, lose, or draw, and I don't need help. And he argued with me about that, and he said, Bonnie, I've got the best lawyer in the world. And I said, he would tell you to take a hike if you told him to take a workers' comp case, and he said, he will do whatever I say, period. So,
but I still don't understand what the money's for. I mean, why are you sending him money for a Tesla?
What he said the $200 was to print the key. It's some kind of electronic key.
Oh.
He said they have to print it. He called me the first time. The guy was writing down the stuff, and he was calling off the questions for me. And it came to the $200. I said, I don't have $200. And he said, can't you get it? This is a Tesla. Because they run, I think, 80,000 to 100,000.
Wow.
And I said, no, I cannot afford that. But then a week ago, I said, doesn't this make a lot of paperwork for your people? Because I say yes, and then I have to tell you no. I said, why don't I just say no up front? And he said, and he just kind of brushes you off if you confront him about something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it came up, I said, not at this time. And he said, what does this mean? I don't get this. What does this mean, not at this time? And I said, it means, I've never been had money to do that. And I said, this is silly because your people have to go back in and do something, paperwork with that. And I said, I always tell them, don't give it to somebody who can afford it. And I guess he didn't give away because his lawyer said they were quizzing him about how he did that. And he said he just picks people that he wants to give things to, period. and they're giving away a bunch of, which is probably part of what the money is. And they have to have it hand delivered, all this stuff, but they're giving away these little, they look like Pokemon in the little rubber pony that he had. You know, the little Pokemon people.
Kind of. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I know what they are,
That
but
was real popular for
yeah.
Tracy's age. But they're hand carved. There's a bunch of those, and I guess people are using them for it's a piece of art, I guess, for decorations for modern houses. I know I showed a picture of his ex-wife's closet, and that it's a real modern, more elegant place than.
So first it was $200, but then how did it get to like 50?
500.
And then, but then you said he also might need 1,000 or 1,500.
But what I was adding in was we have to get license, and we have to get, you know, to get us to where we could actually drive that car.
So but he needs 500.
He needs 500 to ship it, yeah, and I don't know what it is. He said, I asked the guy, the account manager calls me.
Yeah.
And I said, I said, what is this for? He said, it's for documentation line. So and Elon told me, the last time I turned one of those down, he said, Bonnie, I don't think you understand. These are insured and everything, but maybe they're insured for shipping. I don't know.
So, but you said he hand delivers it?
Well, yeah, he has a delivery person who delivers them.
Huh.
And the first ones that he made delivered themselves in California.
So what is he going to do? Because didn't you say he said that he can't let anybody know you got it?
No, I can't let anybody know that we're connected with him, that we know him.
As I say, because there's not a garage here, so.
Oh no, not the car. It's just him. He just said, be sure.
Don't let anybody know you're talking to Elon Musk.
He said
that's top secret.
Too dangerous. And he called me one time. He was in his plane out at the airport. If I could pick him up, and I said, Elon.
He was at the Lubbock airport?
Yeah.
In his private plane?
Yeah, about.
When?
About 3 weeks ago.
Huh. And he wanted you to go out there?
And pick him up, yeah. And I said, or he said, or you could come here, because they have, on that plane, have you seen a picture of it?
Mm-mm.
They have some way to set up a big table, like it's just a big dining room, and then it's just full of seats. It's not as big, I don't think, as Trump's plane, but he said you could come out here and have dinner. And I said, I can't get to the airport without an ID.
To the airport, you could just go out on the tarmac and have dinner in his plane?
In his plane.
Huh.
And I don't know, he's just.
Why was he in Lubbock?
He came to see me. He's never met me. He came to see me.
Huh.
He's a different person, and he's not. I know he has this Down syndrome thing, but his is he can't control his emotions. He'll put pictures on sometimes, but he's just crying like a 4-year-old. I don't know what happens that causes him to do that, but he said, if you saw me cry in public, would you never speak to me again? Because I guess people just kind of walk away. He's real interesting to talk to. He's really smart. That was funny. When I just popped off on that thing, because man, even the guy that just got a divorce that was doing what's that show that you didn't like that I wanted to watch? Kevin Costner even wrote me a note and said, "Man, I love your personality." They just wrote me crazy.
So is he friends with Elon Musk? Kevin Costner?
I don't know. I didn't ask Elon. I don't know if he'd even tell me. But because sometimes he just didn't answer. He told me one time, "You asked too many questions." I said, "You don't talk." I said, "How am I going to find out anything about you if I don't ask you questions?" Because, you know, and then when I sent him that note about what you did in school that day, he loves kids. Every other picture in there is him holding one of those kids. He's got a bunch of kids. And he said, Oh man, that was priceless. He said, it just broke up my day. He said, send me some more stories about her. Does she still have that personality? And I said, oh yeah, only it's worse. He said, that was hysterical. He said, I can just see some little kid standing up and telling the teacher she didn't know anything. I said, she's arguing with me. And I told him, I said, in the end of that, I said it was a shame because that was that teacher's first year. And at the end of the year, she retired. He's just rolling in it. That was hysterical. And I wrote him all these stories about you. He sent me a picture one night of him and Trump, and this is during the fight. Him and Trump sitting in his plane.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
He flies those planes, and he's.
That was the same night that Trump was in Texas with Melania, and then you said him and Elon were flying the plane.
They were sitting in his plane.
Yeah.
Elon was in the pilot seat.